Hey everyone, I'm Mary Kwiatkowski, and I'm back again with some exciting new coverage of an all-new NBC reality TV show, Destination X. You might be wondering, what the X is this? Well, to break down the first episode, I'm joined by my fantastic new co-host for the first time, the two of us together, Sasha Joseph. Sasha, welcome to the pod.
Oh my God, we made it. Dream come true to podcast with you and talking about a travel show. I'm here. All right. I
Yes.
can't wait. I'm part of the X-Men. I'm here. I'm ready.
Yes. And joining us on this blindfolded tour bus of an adventure, the podfather himself, Rob Cesternino.
I've only got one question for myself. What the hell am I doing here?
So mischievous.
Where am I? Yes. Ha. Yes. Destination X. We're ready to go.
Love it. Yes.
Get in the bus.
Rob's got his Jeffrey Dean Morgan best on.
Yes. Where are we going? We don't know.
That's the point of the show.
That's the point of the show. I feel like it was a little bit like Dora the Explorer. Where are we going? I'm asking one question.
Mhm.
Audience all together.
Yeah.
And then is Jeffrey Dean Morgan the map? I'm the map.
I think so.
I'm the map.
Map, backpack.
Who's Swiper? Mac, let's be honest.
Or Allie swiping up that clue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Swiping
So-
the sausage.
If you heard our intro coverage that we have, and also Rob coming in with a great preseason podcast with Josh. Oh, was that short-lived?
Yes.
Yep. But we watched the first episode, and I gotta say, I went into this show not 100% knowing what it was going to be. Knew that it was a travel show. That's part of the reason we definitely wanted Sasha on here. Big fan of The Amazing Race, jet lagged, all that good travel coverage. And this is a little different because it's travel inspired while the actual getting from place to place is kind of the yada yada. And it's all about the destination here.
Do y'all know anything about GeoGuessr? Because that's what, to me, this is, right? Like,
Yeah.
I do watch GeoGuessr videos for fun on YouTube. So, shout out to people that upload them. But to me, that's what this was reminding me of, like GeoGuessr reality TV show. And TBH, my toxic trait is I think I would kill it on this show.
Me too. Rob, have you ever played GeoGuessr?
No.
Okay.
That I don't even. I've heard you both say GeoGuessr in like conversations before this podcast, but no, I have no idea what it is. I thought that GeoGuessr was when they, hold up pictures of the cast of Survivor 43, and you say which one is Geo again.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Stop
so GeoGuessr is a game where they basically plop you down into a
random location.
Yeah, a random location. Like, on Google Maps, how you can do like the street view.
Yeah.
So it's like a street view on Google Maps, and then you have to figure out where you are, and then you will like click parts on the map, and it'll tell you how far away you are. That's the basis. And there's people out there who do it who are ridiculously good, and some of it's like context clues. I've played it a few times only for the US version, but you can do the whole world, and you should check it out, Rob. I feel like you and your boys might like it. It's fun.
Okay, we'll add that to the list.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of hacks on GeoGuessr, like, which way the sun is, what side of the road are you driving, your car, that, so it's really interesting how you can narrow down countries, which is what I think could be useful in Destination X, is like learning all of those hacks.
Yeah.
But for this show, for Destination X, it's really all about the clues, right? The clues of the location. And at first I was thinking, well, why don't they just go ask a person on the street? Where are we? Yeah. It seems to be that part is not included. So it's more about what is your knowledge of the general area? If you see some ruins, are you going to be able to know where they are? Can you tell what language is written places? Can you decipher the clues? And we saw a lot of that in this first episode. I think it did a pretty good job explaining like what we're here to expect. And of course, also, they really help us with this first season with giving a pretty intriguing cast, I think.
I love them. I love them all. They can do no wrong. They're so silly. They're so funny. And already I've only seen episode 1 and so many standouts.
Yes. Who stood out to you, Sasha?
My queen Mac, psychopath. I love her, right? Like just I love when people are like, I'm crazy. This is who I am. I'm here for the ego boost. Queen, be honest. Because listen, that $250 price after taxes might not be that much, but the glory is forever. So shout out Mac. And I feel like Kim.
Mhm.
Because Kim is the one, right, talking about Coachella, and she's
Oh,
like,
Kim is the mom.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
The Coachella grandma is what I wrote by her.
the
Yeah.
tea is, and this is what this is why I think I fell in love with Kim, because she's like, oh, I'm never gonna tell my family, my grandkids, right, like what I'm about. They're gonna read about my life in my memoir, period. Then I see her job, and it says Child Protective Services worker. And when I tell you I was gobsmacked, I said, I love a social nonprofit
Yes,
person
here we
that like
go.
is a hot mess, because me AF. So it's just I love the cast, but these two were standouts for me. What about y'all?
Yeah, Mac definitely. I think Mac gives an opening that if this was not a competitive reality TV show, I would say maybe we should get some eyes on Mac. Maybe someone should check her backyard for some dead bodies. She's definitely giving sociopath in a good
Women
way.
don't kill like that anyway. They just poison.
Yeah,
Usually.
exactly. Yeah. She said, I'm here purely for ego reasons. I want to show I'm the best. I want to form an alliance with the dumbest person here and then go on to sabotage them. And I love it.
And it seems like that she really went about that in the first episode.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She's kind of like what's the name of is it Jane Wilkinson, the girl on SNL? The new one. I feel like she's kind of that's what I would expect her to be like if she was on this show. Yeah, I don't know. Rob, what did you think of Mac?
Yeah. Mac seemed like that she was giving like a diabolical super genius from the start. I thought that maybe by the end of the episode, when she kind of like undercuts what the team's plan was supposed to be, just to honor, and it seemed like that she made a deal with Allie, and she's like, "Oh, I have to honor the deal," but it seemed like that it was like out of a place of self-preservation.
Yes.
Because she seemed like very worried that Allie would then put her into the what I want to say the death match, but whatever it is where they put
Map
the
room.
X on
Map
the
room?
map room.
Map room.
And it's like such projection on her part, because it's like we can tell like, no, that's exactly what she would do
Right,
if somebody
exactly.
didn't follow what their agreement was. I don't think Allie would have thrown her into the map room if she got picked.
Yeah, probably not. But it is great. And it's very much like this is not about honor and loyalty and integrity and a real alliance here that Mac is doing. This is purely self-interest, which I love. So more people like Mac, please. We had a few other interesting people. Obviously, Josh, who I think Josh gave about what I was expecting him to give on the show. Unfortunately, I actually thought Josh was going to go out from a move of his own, but really he was too trustful of the other team helping him or trying to help him.
I mean, if you would have told me that Josh goes out first, I would have thought, oh, maybe Josh is like a little chaotic. Maybe it's too much. And I had read where he's like, oh, the bus was crazy. Like I thought, like, okay, maybe he's like claustrophobic. He doesn't like being on the bus. He was like totally normal. He didn't do anything out of the ordinary. We saw him like trying to put together a group, and then he just like listened to the wrong person.
Yeah, exactly.
Freaking Rick,
who, and I think Rick was just trying to help. Was genuinely trying to be good. So
Rick is a snake, everybody.
I love it.
Rick, the professional bird watcher, who I hope that we get to see a moment where there's some sort of bird and Rick is like, oh, I know that this yellow-bellied finch is only found in one particular city or something.
Oh my God. He reminded me of The Residents, right? Udo is the character in The Resident on Netflix, where she's an avid bird watcher and and that's what makes her a really great detective. So I said, I've seen this before. It's already on Netflix. We watched it. Sorry. So it's just, I loved Rick. And do we think that there's something more than avid bird watcher? Because he said like he was an interrogator, right?
Yeah, he said he worked in negotiation and
Yeah, what
info
does that
extraction
mean?
for 24 years. I
Mhm.
don't know, because that could be anything from sales to like the CIA. So
I was kind of expecting him to elaborate more on
Thank
like what he
you.
did specifically, but he did not. So
no.
maybe he has an NDA, or maybe it's not as exciting as he leads it to be.
Yeah, yeah. He also falls into the hole of immediately getting the parent nickname. Everyone starts calling him dad. Now, this has been discussed before on podcasts where people say, is it a good thing to be called mom or mother? That's a little different. We don't get the dad as much. But yeah, Rob, if you were on a show and people instantly started calling you dad, do you think that would be a positive thing?
Um, I don't think I would necessarily love it, because I do think it comes with some baggage. Now,
Mhm.
Josh, in his original season of Big Brother, that Kevin Schleuber
Mhm.
was in that cast, and he was sort of like cast into sort of like a father figure dad role. He probably did the best with it out of like almost anybody that we've seen who gets cast into that role. I think ideally you want to kind of be older brother more so
Mhm.
than dad, because I think that there is like a lot of baggage, as we see with like being mama to the people, where that people feel like, okay, you're a provider for them. There's security, there's safety there. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I think it makes it very hard to win from that spot.
Yes. And of course, at this point, I'm not really sure if we know how the end game is going to work, or if it's going to be a pure who guesses where they are kind of thing, or if there will be any more kind of strategy. But we are seeing that alliances and teams will play a role. So
And
could
there
be
are
good.
sabotages. Don't want to
Yes.
spoil, but yeah. So I remember seeing that. And another thing, also, I must say, I think sometimes it feels easier for like a dad stereotype, or typecast, to make it farther versus like a mom stereotype, where I feel like if a quote unquote mom does you bad, then you're just like, I will never, right, like trust you, you're dead to me, versus like a dad, being sneaky, or like, ooh, he's more than a dad. And it's like, why are we doing this? They're just an older person. So I hope that Kim doesn't fall into that trope as well, and let her be just Coachella,
Yeah.
Coachella queen.
Now, so the structure of this episode was basically that we start off with a kind of opening challenge where there's a bunch of suitcases with some bag tags that have clues on them, and you have to put them in a bin with the country, and then the most points are going to get a clue to where they are. And this seems like it's going to be kind of the structure of most episode. Challenge gives you some clues, and then at the end some number of people go to the map room where you have to guess where you are. Person farthest away leaves, in a very like the mole kind of way, to where it could be basically the sweet spot is you want people to think you're not very good, and then actually be good at guessing where you are.
So I wonder with that. So you're saying you want to go to the map room, but you want to actually be good at the map room, because I kind of
Well,
feel like that the optimal strategy is
Avoid
to
map
have
room, yeah.
people
yeah.
think you are very good, whether or not you are, so they don't send you to the map.
I think I was basing it off of thinking that there might be times where you're sending like your own team in or something, which it might also matter. I don't know, because yeah, we don't know. Like, is it ever going to be good? The beauty of getting info right and going to the map room is that you
Mhm.
know where you are, but is that going to matter if every destination they're changing? Like, will there ever be any benefit to
Yeah.
knowing that you were close on the guess?
Sasha, I feel like maybe it's kind of like claim to fame, where it's sort of like, okay, am I gonna be like, am I gonna go in and I'm gonna be the guesser, or
Mhm.
don't throw me in, because I don't know what I'm gonna say. But I guess, but on claim to fame, I feel like that there's like I guess the same like this. I know I'm coming back. I have immune. I can't
Mhm.
be eliminated if I know actually where we are.
Yeah, I also agree that I think you have to fake it till you make it. And especially in the early rounds, there are so many people playing the or perceived as not knowing enough, like a Rachel, right? Where she somehow stumbled into not getting eliminated. But if there's people like her, I need to just fake it till I make it, right? Like our guy, Thomas, right? Timothy Chalamet. Yeah,
Jonah.
Jonah. Why
Yeah.
did I call see a T is in my head? Yeah, Jonah, right? Like he was so
Well, in
subtly
fairness,
good.
he did say that
Yes.
he is a Chalamet dupe.
Yes. You know,
I don't know that he's winning a Timothy Chalamet lookalike
contest. He said, he's like, oh, I bet you think that I look like the guy from Dune. I don't know if they weren't allowed to legally say Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jonah, you look great, honey. You don't need to be nobody's copy, okay? Club Chalamet is not jumping at you, is my point. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, he does say that he does say that his plan is to act like he's intimidated by everyone. And when they do the kind of go around, introduce each other kind of thing, it's very obvious that a lot of people are like, oh, everybody here is so strong and beautiful, and I'm just little old me. It's like, come, you were cast on the show. Come on. I don't know. I'm not buying any of that.
Allie, if you see her bio, it literally says earned degrees in political science and religion.
She's lover girl.
Yeah, listen,
I'm just a lover girl.
She just met her husband.
Listen, there were some spoilers about that. I'll just leave it at that. So we saw some things, but Allie, maybe according to her, has strong knowledge of cultural landmark, world history, chess player. So don't sleep on my girl.
I didn't get that from the show.
I know.
Yeah. See, this is my problem, is that I am famously like the worst at geography. I once took a quiz, a Sporkle quiz against Kirsten McInnes, who is Canadian, and we got the same number of states in the US in the right spots. So
I'm not good at American geography. Well, I did grow up in India, to be fair, but still, and Oklahoma. And I'm just kidding. But I think, better at world geography. Europe, I think I could be better at. I think I know other continents better, but yeah, Europe, I think you can learn a lot. Like, I think fun facts is easy for Europe.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it depends. I'll get to it in a little bit, but I definitely had some useful pop culture knowledge that helped me with this with this episode. But yeah, we do the luggage challenge, and really the main thing that comes out of that is that Mac, before it starts, tells Allie basically, let's just share all of our tags, which will make one of us probably win, and then pick the other person to share the clue with. Kind of surprised that nobody else thought of this, because it seems like a no-brainer.
Emergent gameplay off the bat on Destination X.
Love it. And I actually thought the twist would be that Allie would be like, who is this person telling me to team up? But she, I don't know, she took it.
But see, this is why I think Allie's smarter than you think, because she's like, yeah, I'm definitely doing this. And you're giving me all the tags? Immediately, let's do this.
Yes, which I think was smart from Mac, because kind of a no-lose situation here. Either Allie honors her word and takes Mac with her to the clue, or doesn't, and then she can put a target on Allie. And the target's not on Mac for doing well in the challenge, even though she did and was helping. And then, of course, the other big thing here is that at one point, was it Rick who dropped
Rick lost his sausage. And Allie took his sausage. That was a huge part of the episode. We heard about Rick's sausage the whole time.
Yes. Here's the tea. Why are y'all on a show, right, where there can only be one winner, and everyone's mad that someone did something to get further in said game?
Sasha, it's all about what target can we put on people, you know? Take anything.
I mean, listen, if it happened to me, I'm never gonna shut up about it, right? Like, I'm bringing out Josh's pots and pans and yelling about it. But as a viewer, it's so funny because how the results came out was that Allie and Mac were only one ahead of Mr. Biggie, funny enough, and
who we haven't even talked about yet.
I know, what a guy, what a guy, bless his heart, Rob. And they were only one ahead, and the thing that saved them was Rick's sausage.
And Rick like guilted them the whole time. He's like, hey, you took my sausage, so you gotta give me the clue. Come on, it'd only be fair.
Oh,
You took
Yeah.
my sausage.
Here's the
It
thing.
could have been any other picture. It could have been the flowers. It
Could have been anything.
Could have been anything. Was this a third 3D chess move of Rick to be like, I'm gonna drop the sausage one so that
No, he sounded pretty indignant. He
I don't
was
think
he
so.
was not happy. And here's the question I have. Do you think Mac's strategy immediately changed because our mischievous host said you are going to before I'm feeling extra generous, so I'm going to make sure you share the clue, like you get to pick one person. Usually, Jeff or whoever else on these other shows, we get to hear that they talk about, oh, now that you won the reward, please pick someone else, right, to go with you. But does the fact that Destination X gives you the reward ahead of time, it should affect your strategy? Because if I'm hearing, oh, I can share it with someone, why wouldn't we team up?
Yeah. I mean, I think that what Mac did only makes sense because of that. So I'm not sure if she had that going in. I felt like that she came up with that because she found out that it was going to be you had to share the clue with another person.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I felt like that added another layer of strategy.
Yeah,
definitely, especially because it was like, we're going to give both of you the clue, not just that a person will then be required to tell someone, because they could tell anyone. So I guess, Sasha, Matt could have still teamed up with Allie, just hoping that Allie would share a clue later. But this is more of a guarantee.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I feel like this is also in the Genius game that I've seen the whole season, but I feel like that whoever wins the main match, they also get to give the wings of life to somebody to then share it with. So there's a lot of cooperation that comes out of that.
Yeah,
I've only seen the Korean one, but so good.
And this is just another reason for shows to give the players more of an idea of what the limits that they're working with are. There's a beauty to surprising people, but also a beauty to being able to let them play within that. So then we get on the bus, which is a big tour bus, blacked out windows. Yeah. And the only thing that confused me a little bit about the show is that, like, the clue they're given is still like 300 miles away from the destination. But I don't think they're told it's 300 miles away.
That was going to be my question.
Yeah. This is the only thing that confused you, because I had so much that confused me.
Okay,
because,
great.
And maybe, listen, you all are smarter and younger, and maybe because I really I lost the plot of this, because when there are times when they are on the bus, and it seems like to me that they put on the Apple Vision Pro VR goggles,
right?
And at times it's almost like on Star Trek, they put on the goggles and they go from like, I don't know if they're like now like immersive, like in the simulation, or if they've been like transported, also like Star Trek, to like two women put on the goggles, and then they're on the bus, and then they're in a different place. And I don't know if I'm supposed to be. Tell me, should I speak to somebody about this? Like, have I?
I think maybe you got a little bit too. I think they're glorified blindfolds.
They're glorified blindfolds. Okay, but Sasha, when they got their clue, okay, and then they're like, all right, I'm in a field. I'm seeing things, but they're really there. Was that like just like, did they put that in? What's happening?
It's just a blindfold.
I think it's because the show can control when you can see and when you can't, right? Like technically on a blindfold,
but we saw them in the thing without the blindfold on.
Yeah. But I think they only wanted them to see the ruins. Or they only wanted them to see the city.
Right, so they put them on. Yeah, I think they put the blindfold on.
And they could drive probably somewhere else.
It could just be a blindfold. It could just be a blindfold.
That's what I think. I think it's just a blindfold.
I think that here's the beauty of the VR goggles. Thing number one, it doesn't mess up your makeup as much.
Sure.
I think that's
it doesn't have suction.
Well, right, but it's not going to press against your eyes.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
correct.
And
And
then
listen, your eyebrows need to be done.
exactly. Especially when they do the little camera shot where it's like inside the thing. I think that's important. Now, the thing that is confusing is that there's no reason for them to do the like opening and closing of the blindfold goggles because they immediately just take them off every time it opens.
But that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I think
But-
you can control, the show can control.
Sasha, they were in the bus, and then they were standing in the ruins, and
Yeah,
we
they
were
walked
seeing
them out
them.
there.
That's what I'm. Okay, no, okay. Now I understand what you're saying.
And we don't see them leave the bus.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you want that? That's like we
They
don't
made it
see
seem
them.
like that they went from virtual reality to like, wow, we're in this immersive
Okay,
experience.
I
Let
see what
me
you
explain
mean.
something. Let me explain something, Rob. There's this thing on a TV show that's called an edit where they can cut.
Now you're talking about
film.
But why did they have to make? Why they make it so like? They made it seem like that they snapped their fingers and they were there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, and now I understand what you're saying. So on my first watch, I also felt like very lost, and I had a lot of questions on like who's transporting them. Can they hear people speaking Italian? Spoiler alert. Can they, this or that? So I think that if at least we got a voiceover or, like you said, watching them be transported, I think that would help us understand how.
How'd they get them down the well with a blindfold on?
No, that's in the middle of a countryside. That looks like anything in Europe. So I think they just were like, get off the bus and walk down.
Yeah.
We used
now,
to
listen,
play this.
I have to be indignant here. Hey, we're on NBC proper, okay? People older than me are gonna be watching this show. It has to make sense.
Rob, we used to play this game when we would have babysitters where the babysitter would put a blindfold on us and then they would like steer you around by your shoulders, walk you around, and they'd tell you things like take a big step or like careful. And then they'd walk you around your yard and then you had to guess where you were. And then they would take the blindfold off and it was always a surprise. Like, oh, I didn't know I was by the play set or whatever. And I think that's all this is.
And I like the show. I was confused about this one thing about when they're in virtual reality and when they're not.
We'll make sure to ask Josh how he liked being beamed up then and then plop down into the well.
They're on a moving bus and they're getting the clue. And then like, did they stop somewhere and take them out and put them in a field and then film this?
So.
Or is this
about transitions?
Or is this like AI of like, okay, we were just watching the women like in the field, like they're in virtual reality.
Oh, brother, like they're on a sound stage this
I
whole
don't
time.
know.
Okay, Scandal.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan is an actor. He knows about these things.
That's really fun. My biggest question was, where did the plane take off from? Because it didn't. Because they had to show up in Europe somewhere. Right? Like there's no way that since America they have been on this private plane with the VR headsets on. So
probably
I feel like they had to have known
they probably
was not in X country. Yeah.
I would have such motion sickness throughout the whole thing between
I'm just sleeping.
VR, moving train, the bus, blacked out windows. Forget it.
Yeah.
Well,
there's not enough Dramamine.
But that's the beauty of Europe, right? Is that like if it was me in the US and I'd be walking around being like, okay, this feels like cobblestones. That vastly narrows down where I am. But in Europe could be a lot of places. Now, this is where my pop culture knowledge kicks in. Okay. I don't know about you, Sasha, but the second that we popped out in those ruins, I was like, Volterra. I know where we are. Because there is a whole Twilight book centered around Volterra. Rob, I know you watch those movies. You remember in the second movie?
In fairness, Akiva watched the second movie.
Oh, no. That's the one. Anyway, Volterra is very important to the second Twilight book / movie. So I knew exactly roughly where we were. And I was very proud of myself.
I wasn't a Twilight girly, so I didn't know. But I was very much like Mac, being like, well, the Romans and Greeks were everywhere.
Well, yes.
So we could literally be anywhere. I don't know what this tells me. I think I was thinking way too hard on this show is what I realized at the end of this episode. Like I was like, oh, Romeo and Juliet, we might be in Verona. We might be here, there. No, baby, we were in Rome.
Yeah. Oh, wait, is it Romeo and Juliet just because of the word Rome?
No, I think it was
a hint in Italy, right?
Close, I think that was just supposed to narrow down that we were like in what
In
part of
Italy.
Italy, right? Because
Mhm.
isn't Verona like pretty close to Rome?
Verona's close to Milan.
Yeah, the whole Milan thing didn't really help, right?
That's why I thought it was so funny because
Well, that was
Rick
Jonah flopping with the clue, right? Or
No,
whoever
that
it
was our boy Rick.
Was it
Rick.
Rick who said
Rick
that?
with the
Okay.
AC Milan. Mind you, AC Milan don't look like that. That is
Yeah,
not the AC
I know.
Milan
I looked up
logo.
the AC Milan symbol. It's nothing like that. So
No, it has a cross on it.
yeah. So now, what did you think of the girls pulling a Judd from Survivor and saying, oh, we were at a really touristy location with lots of people, and not giving correct information about the clue? Should they have just said nothing and not
No.
pretended?
Information is currency, and I'm going to give you the wrong one.
And here's the thing, though. Considering the answer ended up being Rome, I feel like a touristy location with lots of people actually was more accurate than if they just said,
They wouldn't know.
We're at some ruins, which didn't really help at all. But they do tell Rick about the ruins. So this is what I was saying, is that even if it was not a partner thing for that first challenge where they would get to pick a person to say the clue, it seems like you can just tell any kind of clues to anyone if you want. So.
But did they work out what they were going to say to each other?
That's probably what they talked about on the car ride back.
Yeah.
See, because in my mind, they were in virtual reality together.
On a soundstage, right?
And that they were instantly like back on the bus because they were in the same place. They were in the they were standing that everybody was in the same spot from when they took the VR headset off.
You can't walk around that much on the bus. You know what I mean? Like the bus, there's only so much real estate we have.
In my mind, they've gone to virtual reality. Everyone's just watching them like walk around. Probably like smacking each other.
Like literally on.
Do you think the confessional room is on the bus too?
Yeah.
I would be really afraid of people overhearing what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It must be soundproofed, right?
I hope so, but how soundproof can you be on a bus?
I wish that they would explore what the bathroom situation is on the bus. Like these people, like Sasha, you remember Road Rules? Like that was like a big part of like these people living together on the bus. We get like almost like very little about the bus life.
I need a welcome
roommate?
to my crib. This is where the magic happens. Because to me, the bus is giving Hermione's bag. Like it just keeps going and going, and there's always something there. So I said there has to be 3 buses.
I want to see
like
like
just be one.
Hey Biggie, you left the bathroom a disaster. You're going to the map room tonight.
That's when I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't wash his hands. Okay, Danielle. But I don't know. I just feel like I need a welcome to my room. Hey, Vogue, this is my house. Something. Because to me, it's giving endless.
Did they draw straws about who had to be on the top bunks? Like that would be important to me.
And did you see the fake fake windows even in their bunks? Oh no, turn it off. I need to sleep.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get more about bus life in the future. That would definitely be
I want to know
intriguing.
more about the bus.
Have you ever seen the movie Spice World?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the bus in there is really big. They all have their own little rooms.
But there's 5.
Yeah.
These are 10 humans.
Yeah.
Plus camera crew.
Maybe they have a second.
I don't think that they have physical camera people on the bus.
Oh, it's like Big Brother.
It looks like that they have like the big HD like mounted cameras.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Big Brother, what did you think about? It didn't seem like anyone knew who Josh was. Like maybe he didn't need to announce that he was on Big Brother.
I was shocked.
Yeah. Especially because he's been on so many other shows at this point.
I don't think it changed anything. I don't think anybody was targeting him. Like I know one person's like, oh, well, he has experience in these types of shows before.
Yeah, but then at that point, he maybe should have just said that he won Big Brother. He's like, well, I did okay.
Oh, yeah, because listen, if we're going with the theory, right, that you have to be smart to stay out of map room, then yeah, I think you got to win. But then they'll be like, oh, he's strategic. We got to get him out. They would have found a way.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, so then we get to the second challenge, which is a little more amazing racy, kind of. They're all down in this giant well.
Yeah.
Had either of you ever heard of this place before?
No. Absolutely not. Though, but
Eight stories underground.
this is such a like Europe thing to like exist. Like what's happening here? And then we get the lore, right? That the Pope ran away and built this. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, 500 years. The locals have been throwing coins in there, and they need to find the 5 missing coins in the town. The teams appear to have been randomly assigned, but with captained by the 2 women who got the clue, so Allie and Mac.
I love that, by the way. I think that's very smart.
I didn't even really clock who was on each team.
Oh, I did. If you need. Yes.
I know that they each had to pick someone from their team to be the person who's going to search the town. And they don't really talk about it, but it seems mostly to be like who's going to be the smartest and the one to solve these riddles. When I would be thinking a little bit more about like, this person's going to get a lot more information about where we are. So the observant person really matters.
Not the Monday morning quarterback, but Team Mac, right, has Mac, Rick, Kim, Jonah, Rachel, and Rick. I have Rick twice.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, and I'm thinking this is a smarter team. Just off of looks, right? Like, and because Team Allie has Josh, Ty, Allie, Biggie, and Shane. I'm saying, what's happening here? Nah, Team Allie, genius with the riddles. And I think they flopped on sending our friend Biggie.
Can we talk about Biggie already, please?
I know he's your favorite.
Yeah, how have we not talked about Biggie yet?
Why is he called Biggie?
Because he's being fat shamed.
Yeah.
Mary, the kids made fun of him because he was overweight and it's stuck.
He said, it's all right. You know, it's what it is.
Are we allowed to call him Biggie?
I mean, that's the only name I know him by.
Biggie, can't you see? Sometimes your words are kind of folksy.
Sometimes the clues are right in your face, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to play the like, oh, they'll think I'm a country boy kind of thing, but it also just kind of seems like he is that way. He's given me nothing else to work with so far except being competitive.
You are. It's what you are, not what they think you are. Here again, Biggie's telling us he's never been out of the country. He, I believe, tells Josh this on the tarmac before the suitcase challenge. Why are we sending someone that has never been to Europe to look around Europe? Where's the math on this?
Because he asked so nicely.
Maybe he's really good at riddles.
He ain't. I'll tell you that for free.
Well, it seems like he mostly flopped when it came to the Roman numerals, but yeah,
he touched Pinocchio. That's such a crazy thing to say, but
yeah, he also thought that the second riddle was about tea and not olives.
And when I thought it was tea, then what?
So I didn't hear the end part about the oil inside, and I was if I hear green or black, hot or cold, I'm definitely thinking tea. But the oil inside bit, like they really skirted over that part, and that seems to be the clear not tea answer.
But taking a page out of Rob's book, how do they know what shop to go? Because you're telling me that they knew about Pinocchio.
Yeah, this is like to me. Look, maybe I'm just not fun and creative enough. To me, I'm like, they're told, here's the 3 shops you're allowed to go into.
It has to be.
They've cleared the area. There's no locals. There's no one they can talk to. Shop guy is probably told, don't say anything.
There might be like they're ready to go like rip another store apart, and the producer's like, no, don't go in there. No. So,
yeah, I loved when they tore through the Pinocchio store, and then Mac is like, someone will clean this up. Don't worry.
No, Max is psycho. Because like at least you'd be like, apologies, this was crazy. I make a joke about it. She said, this is why interns exist.
Girl.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny. They switch from the first few seconds of them just kind of like peeking around the store to they just start tearing it up like it's
I did not get Pinocchio from that clue at all.
That was the though I lie, I will not steal. All
the
I
real
wish
boy
to be is real. Yeah, that's pretty Pinocchio-y. I mean, it helps when you see that there's a store dedicated to Pinocchio.
That's what I'm saying. So you're telling me that in the random town in Italy, I know that there's a Pinocchio store, red ass store, and maybe the cameras are like literally pointed at it, so I'm running there. But it's giving cooking, and I'm not mad at it.
So, did y'all know that Pinocchio was like set in Italy? I didn't.
Nope.
I didn't know that.
It's kind of an Italian name, Pinocchio.
Yeah,
really?
I guess
mean,
so. Yeah.
Geppetto, Pinocchio.
Yeah, Geppetto.
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But I feel like if someone just said, like, where's Pinocchio from? I'd be like, I don't know, France.
Yeah, I think I would also say France. You're so real.
It just sounds more like a French tale for some
Mhm.
reason.
That's a French ass name. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so they get the Pinocchio coin, or Mac gets the Pinocchio coin. Biggie's gonna get the olive coin. Okay, my favorite part I think was Kim thinking that the Romeo and Juliet clue had to do with Jesus, but then getting it right by accident by thinking that the J with the heart was Jesus.
Kim doesn't miss. I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, that's my queen. She said, in Jesus we trust. And she was not wrong because it worked.
But also, can someone explain, what am I missing about I found love with my sneaky link? What does that mean?
Oh, Sasha just watched Sneaky Links.
Sneaky Links. Check out Nothing But Netflix.
Yeah, that's Jesus, right?
So what does that have to do with Romeo and Juliet, though? I don't
is that the... Well, I think they're calling Romeo and Juliet sneaky links, except dead ass that is not what a sneaky link is. If people wanting to know what a sneaky link is, here I am. No, I'm not a sneaky link. I'm married. But it's, vampire rules. Someone that you only see at night, someone you don't claim in public, someone that once the sun is up, you forget they exist. It's your you up. Person.
Would you say once a sausage stealer, always a sausage stealer?
Correct, but you can better not claim it.
Wait, is sneaky link like new slang though? I've never heard this before.
We used it in college. Not me, I was such a good kid. I never did nothing, guys.
No.
All right.
But I heard.
It's my turn to be old then. I guess I don't know this one.
I'm older than you.
No. Well, I don't understand this one.
Yeah, no, I think sneaky link is just
I
in my
guess
day, sneaky link was somebody send you say, hey, click on this, and then you watching Rick Astley. That was a sneaky link where I come from.
I have fallen for 3 of those in the last week. It's been bad.
You get Dr. Will, never gonna give you up.
Yeah,
never gonna let you down.
Oh my God.
That's back when Josh got Rick rolled. That's what happened on this episode.
Yeah.
Rick, you snake, freaking Rick rolling Josh Martinez.
Oh yeah. Bad.
Yes, shout out Rob. Rob, the jacket has pulled something out of you.
Hey, let's go to a bar, Rick, so I can Rick roll you.
Let's go to a bar in Milan.
Yeah, I did love Josh just telling the host, he's like, hey, I can take you to a really cool bar that's just down the street. What are the odds that Jeffrey Dean Morgan went to that bar with Josh?
He said, I'll buy you the wine.
Pretty good, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I will die on this hill that Romeo and Juliet are not sneaky links.
No,
they fell in love. They're dumb teenagers. Okay, but
Yeah.
anyway, I know that Shakespeare do not care.
They were hiding it from their families, but I guess it's a little more. It's different. Star-crossed
Sneaky
lovers.
link is you're hiding it from yourself and your brain too.
Yeah. So then the Roman numeral bit, I kind of looked down for a second and I looked back up and I'm like, did I miss the riddle? There was just no riddle. It was just figure out what Roman numeral to open this.
There was no riddle. Yeah, you had to. The riddle was you had to see that it said 154 above the door.
Okay, well, and that gets that. I think this was a little bit of an OP segment where they get 3 coins for this one thing.
I know, but here's the thing: Team Allie was struggling because of Biggie, not because Team Allie was getting every single clue way ahead of Team Mac, but. Bless Biggie's heart. I don't think Biggie personally deserved those 3 coins. So I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say. Here's my question. Do you think there should have been something extra in the riddle room so that you could sabotage Biggie, but get an extra clue for yourself?
Oh.
Because honestly, that's what I would have done. Because Biggie is taking too damn long and we losing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, let me just sabotage him. And let me get some extra clues.
Yeah. I just thought that it shouldn't have been for 3 coins. I feel like the team should have been able to help first with that one somehow. I don't know.
But that's why it's important to pick the right person.
Yeah, it definitely is. So this is where I'm confused. Okay. So
virtual reality.
Yeah, I'm looking up the map. The place where we're at here is Orvieto,
Yes.
Italy. That's where we are, and you would really only know that if you knew about this like well,
Yeah.
because all the other little bits, like the fact that there were olives in Pinocchio, that just kind of speaks to Italy in general. So what's confusing to me is that we are still pretty far away from Rome. Like
Jeffrey's,
looking at a map here.
we do hear that the city is from a city 90 miles away for our
Yeah,
first
but
destination
but
next.
but
Do
I
they
don't
get
even think they
told that
tell
they're 90 miles?
that. I don't think so. And if they were told that they were 300 miles away when they were at Volterra, then like that would help. But we're told that. I don't think they are. So
But you're driving. Where do you think you're
in
going?
circles around.
Oh,
like,
come
who knows?
on. That's crazy.
So,
I think that they're told that they're going to another destination.
but at this point, they are
I mean, we'll ask
halfway
Josh.
between Florence and Rome. Is where this place with the well is.
And that's what Josh should have done. You never go, like, if you're not sure in GeoGuessr, right? You try to go in the middle.
Yeah, I guess what I'm confused about is I'm surprised that so many people guess just Rome, like
Wait,
straight
what?
up Rome.
No. It's because of Max coins that they guessed Rome. So Max
Yeah.
got a thumbs up, which is a gladiator, and usually Coliseum, right? That's literally in Rome, and they were literally outside the Coliseum.
Right, so
Thumbs
that part
up.
makes sense.
Then we had the Swiss Guard one, which is lols. No one got that.
Yeah, that one was a flop. They thought I was AC Milan.
I
which
mean,
is
I wouldn't
confusing.
have got the Swiss Guard protects the Vatican. Like, come on, bro.
Would
I
you
didn't
have
know about
gotten
that. And there's
the-
been a lot of Vatican news recently.
Exactly.
Would you have understood that from the 4 Ninja Turtle weapons that you were
I
supposed
would have
to-
known that. I would have known
I
that
think
that
that's
was
a rock.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
a
so,
boy.
again,
That's
I
an
would have
80s
known
boy.
I would have known Italy from that, but would you have specifically gotten Rome from that?
Mm,
Are
No.
all
No.
is Donatello and
No.
I think the
Raphael
only
missing
Rome
because
thing was the
Rome?
gladiator.
mhm.
That's it.
And then Columbus. Is Columbus from Rome?
Yeah.
Whoa, don't ask me these questions.
Mhm.
He
See,
thought he
now I
was
have to
going to
look this up.
India. So why am I following anything Columbus is saying? Okay. Because that is not some map boy that I need to be following. But either way, it's just I'm confused because I think my mind would be like Rome is too easy. I have to pick somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't think I would have picked exactly. on
That's
Yeah,
that.
why
I think it's
I
hard
would've
on
got
the first
screwed.
one to know, like, you don't know if you're gonna like be picking like, we're in this
Yeah.
tiny town with 12 people on it on the map. It's
Right.
like, no, the answer was like, one of all of roads lead to Rome, of course, like one of the global capitals.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the ballet flat coin was random. I would have never guessed that was Rome either. That's what Biggie gets.
Yeah, that was the worst one.
Yeah, and
by
I'm
far.
thinking, no, y'all got to that's what I think I was like playing too hard. And I think I would have dropped it in the middle of Italy for that reason. But I don't know if you're hearing everyone else say Rome, maybe you do Rome. I don't know. That's hard, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how they got Rome.
Do you think anyone's ever going to guess like the complete wrong country? That would be awesome.
I bet. I think if we're in Switzerland, there's so many different versions that you can go around. Like Austria, Germany, right?
Austria,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, there's just too much going on.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So any thoughts on the people that end up getting chosen? It's more or less since Mac's team gets to take 4 people, it's really just a choice between do we send Allie or not? And it seems like the rest of the team had agreed to send Allie, but then Mac kind of pulls a little dupe on them. Is Mac playing too hard where this is going to bite her in the butt next episode?
I think so because nobody else seems like that they are playing hard. So I kind of feel like that there's going
Rick
to be
is.
like maybe some kind of like a backlash. I don't even know if Rick was playing super hard.
No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. He definitely is.
Yeah, I mean he got accused of playing super hard by Josh, but like he did have like pure intentions to try to help Josh. So yeah, I think that people might be on to Mac a little bit. She might have been going a little too hard, too fast for round 1 of Destination X.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to ask Josh if he feels bad now that he sees that Rick was just actually trying to help him.
Yeah. Have
And
you
that he
set
was
up
just
that
wrong.
you all are talking to Josh tomorrow?
Yes, we will. We will
Yes.
be talking to
No, we
Josh
have not.
and
How about
letting
this
everyone know
exit
that.
press for Destination X? Destination Exit press.
There we go. Thank you. I needed that.
Yes, Rob. It's a jacket power. Desert power.
Well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we will definitely be doing our Destination Exit press.
I
Coming
just
out
have to know
soon.
how the losing team all got to Rome, except Josh, bless his heart. And Rachel on the winning team doesn't get Rome, who had all the clues.
Because the clues confused them more. The clues made them think that they were going to Milan. The team that had less clues was like, all right, we're in Italy. I guess it must be Rome, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Where
so
else could we
maybe-
be in Italy?
And we've been
Like,
driving
okay,
forever.
we didn't see like canals. We're not in Venice. So what else is in Italy?
No water. Yeah.
We didn't go to Sicily.
Okay,
No
so
pizza.
we see that when Josh gets it wrong, and they don't. Is this like a? Should they have not showed us where everyone chose? They show us everyone's like markers except for Josh. So I feel like it's pretty obvious that Josh is going to be the worst
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mhm.
You know, they don't let him, but they still try to. And the last one it's Josh
Yeah.
with
Well,
Milan.
So I felt like that because they showed us it was between Josh and who was the other person that went
Allie,
last?
who did-
Allie.
Or,
And
or
so-
is that no? Allie
No,
didn't go.
Rachel.
Sorry, Rachel. My bad.
Rachel. So we saw like 3 markers all around Rome.
Mhm.
And then we saw Rachel, which was in the middle. I guess there was the possibility that maybe Josh is the only one who's right. I guess that could have happened.
Oh,
But we saw everybody else, like Josh is certainly the furthest away from everybody
Right.
else. So it's either Josh was right and everybody else was wrong, or everybody else is right and Josh was the most wrong.
Yeah, or Josh decided not to listen to Milan, chooses
Mhm.
Rome, and then Rachel would be wrong, I guess. Yeah.
Oh.
So do we think I kind of couldn't tell at the end? Did everyone see that they were at the Coliseum? Do you think they are all told like, yes, here we are? I mean, I guess
Oh.
the people who guessed know that they were closer than
Yes.
Josh, but
Mm-hmm.
or is Josh the only one who got the reveal of where they are?
I think it was only Josh, which you know, for the people that are on the show, imagine like you like we went to Rome, we went to like what did you see? Nothing.
The inside of a well.
I saw the inside of a well and a blacked out bus, but I went
Yeah.
to all these cool places. My favorite part of the episode really was that last scene with Josh and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And I don't know if it's because Josh was so good and like they had like some natural chemistry, but I really did like the last 5 minutes where Jeffrey Dean Morgan was showing him like where they were and like what all the clues were supposed to be. I thought that was a fun moment.
Do you think that Josh can become like the Boston Rob of Destination X and do like a, tea time, iced tea with Josh?
Oh, you want him to host the after show?
Yeah. I feel like he would do
Why
it.
not? Let him like follow the tour bus around.
Yeah. Josh is just in a little car.
He'd be good
Oh
at that.
my
He'd be
God.
like, oh, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I like this concept. I think we need people to stick around for that. Josh can just be the host. So we do get a little bit of a sneak preview of what's coming up
It's a
next.
sneaky link. The
Sneaky-
next episode.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so
Am I using that right, Sasha?
Yes, I like it. I'll allow
Sure.
it.
Sure, take it. And so we've got 2 more people
That's
who are
like
joining
Romeo
us.
and Juliet, I think that's what they said. I'm never going to give you up. Never
yeah.
going to let you down.
Is that where Till Death Do Us Part comes from?
It's all connected.
I like it.
Yeah. So we see Pilot Pete is going to be joining. Thoughts on Pilot Pete coming on the show?
Hey,
Here we
former bachelor. Was the guy who, like, if you're a pilot, you got to know these maps, Sasha.
Uh-huh.
You can't, you got to be like very fluent in the maps and where everybody is going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which,
he should be available to understand without any GPSs, maybe without any assists, where the hell we are.
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't talk about Shane or Ty much, but Ty is a flight attendant, and so she
And
thinks
an
that's gonna help her.
attorney.
Yeah,
I
and an
didn't know.
attorney.
What's happening?
Yeah,
Because she
which
said
is-
her money is funny, so
Her
she
money
needs
is
this,
funny. She
and I
needs-
love her.
yes.
But
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
but how
so
are you a
Ty
flight
does pretty
attendant
good.
and an attorney?
Double it up, I guess. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then
I
now
think you could do flight attendant like on the side because I feel like that Charity also was like something else, and then she's
Oh,
like a
yeah.
dietitian and also flight attendant.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
I think they let
funny.
you just pick up shifts for flight attendant.
Fair.
The only thing we really got from Ty in the episode was that during the conversation where Rick comes up, he's talking to Allie and asking, or Allie asks Rick if a strong male alliance has formed, and he says no. But that's when he's like, "Yeah, but the guys are going to be really pissed if you don't tell
don't
me
piss me
the
off.
clue." And Ty thinks that he's playing hard. So that
Mhm.
was really the only thing we got from her, and we don't really get anything from Shane besides him guessing
Who is
correctly.
this man? Is he on the show? Is
He
he? Oh,
was doing
is he?
nothing.
He's
the
coming in
model.
next week with Pilot Pete.
No, my queen is coming in next week. with
Yes.
Pilot Pete.
Mhm.
So Sasha, tell me a little bit about how do you pronounce her name?
I believe Janae, but
Janae. Okay. From Love Island
and
season
I'm sorry
6.
if I'm wrong, y'all.
Who's coming in? As
Yes,
well.
listen. 1/3 of the PPG, the Powerpuff Girls.
Mhm.
She is just like the sweetest. I love her. She was one of the OGs on Love Island. So we've seen her from Jump, and they've just she has taken over the world. We like are just so invested in her life. I don't know, like I love
What does she
Love,
do? What
you
does
know?
she? How does she take over the world?
Just because of their friendship, like they really killed it. Her, Leah, and Serena, the winner. Sorry, and they are just like the Powerpuff Girls is what they go by. So PPG, and they're like now their PR people have like Chef's Kiss, killed it because they show up everywhere. They even have a friendship quiz on GQ. Like, just I love them.
A
And I
quiz
love
about
them.
their friendship or
Yeah, like
anybody's
it's just
friendship?
they're like famous for being like amazing girls, and they
Wow.
also fell in love
With
Great.
who?
with boys on Love
Oh.
Island.
Sneaky links or
No,
regular?
not with each other. No. Like a Love Island, they like were finalists and they
Mhm.
won.
Uh-huh.
They won our hearts.
So-
Million.
I
Do
love this
we-
for them.
Do we know whether or not they will be entering as contestants, or are they serving some other purpose on the show?
I think they're players.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're
Is this
players.
Yeah.
fair that they got a buy? Why didn't Josh get a buy?
I don't know. So I have a theory of
Absolutely.
why they're coming in late.
Uh-huh.
Yes, please.
Not enough room on the bus. Only 10 spots on the bus. I don't know. Maybe there's 11. There's 11,
Uh-huh.
and they had 13 people in the cast.
Yeah. Plus, we see these shows. You know, Dondi did this too. We like to add some excitement in the show.
Gotta have something
after
to
a few
promote week
episodes.
2.
Yeah, exactly. Got to keep people on the hook.
Mhm.
So after one episode, Rob, are you coming back? How did you feel about Destination X?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I mean, I'm sorry, everybody, that it took me a minute to understand what the format was. Okay.
No, I love this.
And
We're gonna
I'm
clip
not
it.
sure I totally get it now, but like I understand now how the game works. I'm interested to see where they go next.
Yeah, I think with a lot of things, you can't think too hard about it. Don't be asking. You don't want to be one of those people who's asking the survivors like, yeah, but did you really sleep out there? How did you go to the bathroom? These are the questions we don't need to know. You know, this is
We don't need to know the sausage is made.
Yes, ask Rick. Okay,
Yeah,
he knows all
don't.
about
Fine,
it.
ask
in
Rick.
my mind, I picture it like when you're in like preschool and they like have to walk you out to the playground. You're all holding on to like the little rope.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picturing. They're all in a line. They're all holding on to the little rope with their blindfolds on.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It'd be great.
Release the background cut. Okay. Release it.
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
want to see them being picked up and placed down in the middle of the ruins.
Mhm.
We need it. I would also say this to me is like the perfect summer cute show where personally, because as a travel girly that has decided not to travel that much this year, I needed a fix. And to me, it's like that perfect summer travel fix. So I'm really excited. And I feel like a lot of folks that have been to Europe could play along. And
I
really
did like the play along element.
yeah.
That
Because
was nice.
technically, again, the narration is telling us we're in Italy. The narration tells us, okay, we're not 90 miles from our destination. I didn't put that together, that room. But still, that's on
Yeah.
me.
Sasha,
But-
do you think that they're going to get beyond Europe in this first season?
Oh, this is the Europe season. Yeah, they've said that this is like gonna be in Europe and they're gonna be traveling everywhere. And we only have 9 more countries to visit. So I think they're only maybe even gonna be in the Schengen and not
Okay.
going too
Mhm.
far outside of that.
Is this terrible of me to say? I feel like this would be actually really fun if they just did it in the US as well.
You
Like,
so
Family
hard.
edition.
Am I crazy?
yeah, but I feel like it'd be kind of fun. You like pop them into like a Walmart and you're like, all right, gotta look around at the vibe of the people. What
If
state
you're
am
in
I in?
Oklahoma, like, how do you know that that's any different from like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kansas?
it could be really hard.
What people are wearing. That's the only way.
So
I think it would
I
be
don't know
fun.
if you're going to
Especially,
get
I think
that.
it'd be fun to get a bunch of Europeans in the game
I actually
playing
think
in the US.
Asia would be the best
Yeah.
because people would be lost.
I'll tell you what you're going to see. If this is a hit, you're going to get Destination X Canada that is going to be only in Canada.
Okay.
Canada's hard.
It is hard. Yeah.
And they're going to love it.
I think this is
can't
great.
It's going to be the #1 show.
I can't. I'm ready. The thing is, Destination X Asia would actually be so difficult.
I think a lot of this is difficult. I don't even know how well I'm
Europe,
going to
I
do at
feel like
Europe. But
Europe,
we'll
I feel
see.
like you could, there's enough facts. You can be like, oh, they colonized this person. So, like, most likely I understand where we are, blah, blah, blah. Or, this is their history because, like, we all learned it. Asia, methinks not. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you're going to
We'll
be like,
see.
am I in India? Am I in Sri Lanka? Am I in Pakistan? I don't know. They all look the same.
Yeah,
We
it'll
don't,
be
but I'm
interesting to
just saying.
see. I enjoyed the first episode. I think this is fun. Can't wait
I can't wait.
to follow along and cover the rest of it with you, Sasha. Rob, thank you so much for joining us for the first episode. And to everyone listening, let us know your thoughts, where you think you're going, whether or not you guessed Rome correctly.
Yeah.
Would love to know that too.
Mary, permission to address the podcast audience?
Please do.
Hey, it's the first episode of a brand new show. Make sure you subscribe. Go to WeKnowDestinationX.com to make sure you don't miss any of the podcast feeds. Mary and Sasha are going to be doing Destination Exit Press as well. And you're going to want to make sure that you have it all in one spot. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and be on the lookout for it here on the YouTube channel. Okay?
Yes. You can find our exclusive interview
Oh.
with Josh. It's going. If you
Okay.
didn't check it out, go ahead and listen to the preseason interview with Josh as well that Rob did for some more coverage.
It's the least that you can do, okay? It's no biggie.
I'm done.
Love it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is
More
great.
money, more problems.
Oh, no coins, no problems. No, very opposite.
All right. This was great. Look, Rob learned a little bit about VR.
VR.
Business.
I learned
The
what
VR
a sneaky link
rules.
was. This is great. Everyone was educated on Twilight history. This is perfect.
Mhm.
Loved it. All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Rob thought we were on a soundstage.
I didn't know.
Not even
I
sound.
listen.
He thought they
Sasha,
had
okay?
teleportation
Listen,
technology.
I don't
love
maybe I
it.
don't have an Apple Vision Pro like
Neither
you.
do I.
Mhm.
Don't play me.
You guys don't have a Vision Pro over there?
Is Destination X sending us all so we can try it out?
Destination X sent me some. They sent me a little. I meant to bring it up here. They sent me a little tiny Pinocchio.
Oh, a clue.
I had a clue to this episode.
Please. Oh, hello, Mary and I.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
swag.
Send us.
We'll
I
put it-
love
I will put it
and
back
I got
here.
some
I would love
chocolate
some-
coins.
What?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. Destination X,
Destination X.
NBC, send us some clues that would help us
Hello?
to guess along. We would love it. That'd be so fun.
So that I'm
Mhm.
not picking Verona. Yeah, please.
Mhm.
Please do. I think that it probably the J with the heart probably has something to do with Jesus. That's where I'm at right now. So-
And Jesus saved her. Okay.
Yes.
I love falling backwards into the right answer. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, until the next time we hop on the bus and go to our next destination and ask the question, where the X am I?
Great job on the premiere.
Thank you. This was so fun.
All right.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.